In a world full of Neapolitan ice cream plugins such as 1176, Neve 1073, and LA2A emulations, Fuse Audio Labs is the Ben & Jerry's. They are creating these esoteric plugin emulations that, actually I should say hardware emulations, that, are out of left field, and it's awesome. So I'm glad to be reviewing these. They asked me if I would take a look at their plugins, and I had already done their LA4 emulation about a year or two ago. And I said, yeah, let me take a look through your portfolio now. And so these two stuck out to me. The one is a Federal Television Corporation 864U compressor plugin. And what makes this thing special is that, well, it adds a little bit of that tube saturation flavor. It's basically like a dirtier Fairchild or maybe a cleaner LA2A, so it's different. And that's really why I would say check out these plugins if you're looking for something different than the usual. The other thing is the Langevin 258A and 259A hardware. These are basically kind of like a Pultec in that they're easy to use. It gets good results quickly, and that's why I would say check these out. Not because you can't necessarily do it with other plugins, but because just having two main knobs make the job a little bit easier. Now I will say this, all three of these emulations are limited. So if you're looking for something that can do, this and that and this and that, no, these are not it. But if you're looking for something specific that'll add a different flavor to your mixes, then you may want to check these out. Again, trials are available. I don't believe they have any limitations other than the date limit, and they're good sounding plugins. So let's get started and take a listen to them. The VQP 259A. Here's a few tricks you can do. First of all, the before. And the after, we'll call this the smartphone or small AM radio effect. And then if I wanted to do a headphones effect, I'll do this. Headphones meaning you're looking at somebody who's wearing headphones and that's what you hear coming through. Now this is the underwater effect. And this is the outside the dance club effect. So that's some of the things you can do with this. Typically what I would do, I'll show you down the line, but on to the next sample. Here's the VCL 864U, and without the compressor on, and with. Going down the line here, bass guitar, so let's listen to it with a amp simulator. And without. Wow, that one note definitely popped. So having this on certainly helps. This time we have all 3 plugins going. So first of all, what I wanted to do was just knock off the low end. So I'll play that for you all. If you don't have a subwoofer, then you probably didn't hear a difference. Next, I added a little bit of high end just to get the acoustic guitar to sparkle a little bit at 10 kilohertz. And I'll up it just so you guys can hear. One tip I'll give you if you are mixing the high end, you should have your volume up a little bit louder than you might normally have it, so that way you can hear any harsh frequencies that might pop out. Because if you mix at lower levels like I typically do, you may not be able to hear that at the lower volume. And then finally to the chain, let's put the VCL 864U plug-in. On to electric guitar. I just have the filters on, the 259A, and the idea was that I wanted to cut the low end, and the high end was a little bit harsh and had that typical noise. So let me just play that part for you, bypassed, and then I'll put it on. Now the thing to keep in mind, I'm mixing as if I'm doing it for the entire mix. And the reason I would want to get rid of those higher frequencies besides the nastiness is it stays out of the way of the cymbals and the vocals as well. So as soon as you do that, it softens the guitars and you can have them louder in the mix without clashing with the other frequencies. And finally, to wrap things up, I have my drum room mic. Before you were hearing the drum bus, this is the drum room mic. And I wanted to do a little bit of smashing. So let's have it on. Actually off first and then on. So it's just a different flavor than your typical 1176 type of all buttons in smashing. And the beautiful thing is you have your parallel mix knob right here so that you don't even have to have it on send. You can just blend it with a percentage. That's not something that the hardware has. So the one thing missing from my samples is a vocal. But not really, because you've been hearing it on this voiceover recording. And I'll show you my settings on screen right now. So my conclusion is, again, they're limited in their feature set, But if you've been looking for this hardware, definitely check it out. I thought that the Langevin EQ, I don't want to say it compared favorably to the Acustica Audio one. It sounded different. It sounded cleaner. The Acustica Audio one had, it was muddier sounding, but maybe fuller, depending on who you want to ask. But definitely the Langevin, the VQP did a good job. And, you know, price-wise, again, we're talking about something that's more along the lines of like a Pultec. So there's Pultec EQs out there that cost more than this one. But in this case, you get filters, plus you get the extra, 2 EQs. And I don't want to say it's a must-buy, either of these, the compressor, the 864U, or the EQ, the VQP. I'm getting all these numbers confused. 258 and 259. Are they must-haves? No. Do I like them? Yes. So check them out yourself. Again, it's kind of like reverb. Some people like to have just one reverb. Some people like to have 10. If you're in the latter category, I would say you might be more attuned to buy these, or again, try them out. You might love them. I like them. Again, not must-haves, but must-tries for sure. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com.